Comrade Chairman, Comrade Portia Simpson Miller, former President of the People's National Party, officers of the party, members of Parliament, Comrade Senators, Comrade Caretakers, Comrade Mayors, Comrade Councillors, delegates from sister parties, excellencies of the diplomatic corps, party delegates, group chairmen, group members. I want to recognize my wife Sandra and the rest of the family, children and grandchildren and their spouses who are here. And to all of you, the comrades, the heroes and the heroines, the stalwarts and the warriors of the People's National Party, one love. Welcome to this, the 80th annual conference of the People's National Party. Your presence here today, and I tell you, it's nice to see a PNP something nice for true. Your presence here in your thousands is not only proof of your loyalty to the movement, but it is irrefutable proof that the PNP is on the move and has a bright and glorious future before it. Some say we're done, but that come with just a come. Comrades, I want to take a moment to pay my respects and my tribute to one who is not among us, but who served this party well. And I speak of Comrade Easton Douglas, former Vice President and Minister of Government and friend. I also want to take this occasion to congratulate the newly elected Vice President of the People's National Party. Let me ask them to stand. The Rat, Davian Crawford, Comrade Michael Phillips, Comrade Wickham McNeil, and Comrade Philip Powell. I want also, comrades, we only have 4 vice presidents, but we had 6 champions who offered themselves. And I want to pay respect to Comrade Angela Brown-Burke and Comrade Fenton Ferguson. I tell you, it's one of the hardest decisions I know any one of us had to take, because any party would feel honored and blessed to have any one of those 6 as a member and representative of a party. But most of all, I want to say the party is the winner in that election. I want to congratulate every comrade for the spirit in which that campaign was conducted. The positive vibes in that campaign, there was no negativity, and the process of renewal was demonstrated in that election for the Vice President. The People's National Party is alive and well and moving forward with purpose. We have some reasoning to do today. We have to reason about where we are, where we're going as a country, and how we're going to get there. So today, I will be presenting our covenant with the people. which will outline our plans to build a Jamaica that works for all the people and not just a privileged few. But one thing I am sure about is Jamaica can't stay like how it stays now. So let me start with where we are. When you look at Jamaica today, we see a country where too many of our brothers and sisters living on the margin of life. Too many people where life is a perpetual crisis. I mean crisis like when you have car crash and your family get injured. People who live in a crisis. How many mothers here and across the country don't know tomorrow morning where the picnic lunch money going to come from? People that live in a crisis, that when them see rain set up, them have to decide which part of the bed them going to squeeze upon because the roof can't hold out the rain. So much people have a crisis if them children come home from school and say the shoes heel match up, them don't know where to turn to get a new shoe. 60% of the labor force earn minimum wage or close to minimum wage. 1/4 of the country live in a so-called squatter community. People turn up at hospital every day, and when the doctor prescribe and say you need an x-ray, the hospital now have no x-ray equipment and you can't afford to fill the prescription. That is the Jamaica that we have today. The truth is, times are much harder than they were in 2016. And even then, times was hard. But what we know is that a whole heap of false promise was made in 2016. All the talk about prosperity has proven to be, for the majority of the people, just so chat. They promised 18,000 per month without taxation. So chat. They promised 5 in 4 that was going to grow by 5% in 4 years. So chat. Them stop chat about it now. Them promised to double the minimum wage. That again was so chat. The minimum wage raised, but it barely keeps pace with the decline in the dollar. They promised good governance and no corruption. That we know was so chat. Who remember the promise to sleep with your door and your window open? So chat. It would have fun if it never so sad and so tragic for so many families across the country. After 2 years, this government still has to come up with a sustainable and effective plan to fight crime. They have no plan except state of emergency and Zozo. And the Prime Minister tell us foolishness about if him announce a plan, him go alert criminal. We don't want no operational plan. We don't want to know where police will go tomorrow. But we need to know whether they're going to expand the force, by how much, whether they're going to reorganize the force, what legislation they have, how you're going to improve intelligence if you have a plan, what changes you're going to make to improve the technologies available to the force. We need to have a plan. A plan would spell out whether you plan to build more neighborhood watch, what is the role of international cooperation. A plan would spell out what we, the citizens, can do, because we love our country, we love our communities, and we don't want to see criminals overrun it. But all we get is so chat. And then all the things they never tell us about in that campaign. They never tell us about the $31 billion worth of additional taxation that was going to be placed on the people and going to be a burden, especially for the poorest. Take that tax package, tax package, every striking thing gone up. Gasoline gone up. Cooking gas gone up. Electricity gone up. You know it when you look for your light bill. Supermarket bill gone up. As Shabba said, everything gone up. And them never tell me about the scandal and corruption that was going to spread out across Jamaica. Thank God for the opposition in Parliament. Thank God for the PAAC and the PNP members and the PAAC. We find the evidence that what we have today in Jamaica is the most corrupt administration that has ever held office in the history of our country since independence. Bushing scandal, police use car scandal, FLA scandal, $8 million phone bill scandal, $9 million travel scandal at PPD. The government have more scandal in it than Riverton City have scandal bags in a Riverton City. And then we have this super scandal, the Petrojam scandal. That one have everything in it. It is like all the other scandals them combined in one. Friends of the government collecting money for travel but not traveling. Friends of the government getting jobs at 3 times the pay that the previous occupants of the job had. While at the same time, long-serving, loyal, patriotic civil servants being fired from jobs. Friends of the government and activists for the JLP getting jobs in organizations for which them don't have qualifications. Friends being awarded contracts by breaking the procurement rules, and some of those friends is the same people that turn up in the bushing scandal. And it's not finished yet. What madness is this? The corruption has reached a new low. Never in our history have we heard of a government entering into verbal contracts. No paper, no sign. Just word of mouth. $23 million by word of mouth. Money that could use to upgrade your child's school. Money that could fix the X-ray equipment in hospital. Money that could clean the drain in your community. Money that could give your child a better education. Give teachers more pay. Nurses more pay. What madness is this going on in our country, Master God? Is this the accountability that the Prime Minister promised in his inauguration speech? What it looked to me like that was just so chat.
I do your chatty, me can't live in peace. Your chat, I do your chatty, me can't live in peace. I do your chatty, me can't live in peace. Me a try
Lack of accountability is bad. The corruption is bad. The false promises is bad. But what is even worse is the evidence that the government simply cannot manage. The comrades that don't know what they are doing. Let me give you an example. I'm going to pick out some areas. When you look at how they treat the public sector workers, string out the negotiations for almost 2 years, settle with them, and at the same time, the slide in the dollar take out the very little bit of increase that them get. All now police, who we used to say should go first in the line because of the pressure of criminality stalking the country. All now police can't get a wage settlement. And yet, we have police out on state of emergency, I work 24/7. Them I work 24/7 with the Zozo program, and you wonder why the police morale is low, why them feel bad. That is not good management, that is just plain mismanagement and callousness on the part of the government. Then when you look at the problem with the coffee farmers, I'm not going to deal with sugar today, but the same thing with sugar. In 2015, coffee farmer was getting $13,000 a box for them coffee. The price fall, 2016. Price fall again. Today, instead of $13,000, them getting about $3,000 a box. At the same time, the price of every single thing that the coffee farmer use, the fertilizer, the pesticide for spray the coffee, the gas for transport the coffee, everything gone up. How them going to live? And the government do not one striking thing to help them. God bless Mr. Leachin who put out him 60 million to say I'm going to help, but that is not the solution. I want to tell you, you know, when I look at the 60, bear with me. It's 70 million the government spent on PR for the Minister of Energy alone, you know. 70 million, just to show you that if that 70 million could have helped the coffee farmer instead of go off just to make the social chat people them look big. It could have eased the stress. But the government, it's not a gift from Mr. Leachin going to solve the coffee farmer problem. For 2 years, the government just watched the price go down. It not do nothing. Government should be pioneering new markets, find places to sell the coffee to. Government should be developing a price support scheme. But here the toughest rubber of all. Jamaica export about 220,000 bucks of coffee. And at the same time, we import into Jamaica 600,000 bucks of coffee. And we can't even control the import of coffee, so our farmers could sell a little of it on the local market, make the people them drink good Jamaican coffee when them come as tourists. No plan, no vision, no management, just social chat.
Come it's a special dedication to one farmer. Whether you live a sentence or in an over, that is Mr. Coffee Beer Back Grinder. This is the yellow to the mother of Jamaica. And done. Living a style, down.
You know, you look at JUTC. Them open up the entire system to robot and operation. I want everybody to have a chance to get a living. But remember where we're coming from. I work too hard personally to put JUTC in place. We're not going back to the days when the schoolers couldn't go up on bus and went up your accident and crash. But they're running down the JUTC. They don't know what they are doing. No city our size can do without a good official transport system. Look at the problem with the dollar is further proof that them don't know about. The rapid slide of the dollar that go on the other day is hurting small businesses. It is making life harder for the consumers, and the prices that increase, that going to increase, don't come yet from the drop in the dollar the other day. And we now have no credible explanation why the dollar moved. One minister, the one before, said he was going to stabilize it. And then you have a new minister come in, and the dollar start move. Now remember, these were the same people when we had to adjust it, you know, because we took over a bankrupt economy. Our exporters couldn't sell things. We never have no reserves. The dollar was moving. Them same man right to the IMF and said the dollar shouldn't move. Them used to do dance and call it the dollar slide. Now, them said the dollar must move. But we don't know whether it's the plan of the government or the plan of the minister. Because one minister hold it firm himself, and then the next one make it move. Between June, end of June, and the end of August at $10 Jamaican, the drop of the Jamaican dollar against the US dollar. And it's not because we don't have no reserves. Bank of Jamaica says it have more reserves than them planned for. It's not because our exporters can't sell anything, because them say them competitive. Even the Exporters Association complains. It's not because there is some balance of payments crisis. It's just simply a change of policy, a change of minister, and it is going to make life harder for you, the people of the country. They just don't know what they are doing, and we, the people, suffer when they don't know what they are doing. But if you want proof of the confusion, just look at the road work, what am I doing at the Kingston City. I can't imagine any well-thinking person that would block off 4 main roads at the same time. Mandela and Boulevard, Spanish Town Road through Portia Simpson Miller Square, Hagley Park Road a come up, Constant Spring Road a go down, 4 main roads. And then them say it was their vision when them a tour in a June, and so them say what a great vision them have. And then all of a sudden when it reach problem, them start say, no, a PNP caused it. Not true. I tell you, say it's not true. Nobody never come and say, you know, we're going to withdraw the money. It's not a grant them give us, you know. It's a loan. We are paying back for it. The program starts already and do a whole heap of work. We build road under that same major infrastructural development project. We build road Mineral Heights to Dawkins Pen in a Clarendon. We build road from Soursop Turn to Chapelton in Clarendon. We build Sligoville to Red Hills. We build Spalding to Cave Valley. We resurfaced White House to Westmoreland. We did Marcus Garvey Drive. Them have the little bit to do. We leave them with the design for Portia Simpson Miller Square. Then change the design and now they match it up. They want to come to a PNP part. How PNP can be responsible for them not consulting with the business people on Hagley Park Road? It's my constituency. Them putting small businesses out of business because them can't get internet and them can't use the telecommunication system. A whoop of all that, and a PNP. A them fault. They must stand up like big people and accept responsibility when they can't manage. Who tell them not to put road sign on the road? That is not PNP. That is their own mismanagement. Who tell them that not even to put a little temporary sidewalk so school picnic can walk safe to school, and the elderly and the disabled? That is not PNP fault. That is the fact that they don't care about what happened to the people. Let me tell you, there's a reason why their management is so bad. There's a reason why they appear to be so heartless and callous and indifferent to the plight of ordinary people. And I want you to listen closely. Because, you know, you have some people say there's not no difference between the two parties. You have some people say, Chairman, the two of them are the same thing. Not true. And especially in this, the 80th year of our party, we must spell out to everyone and we must remember for ourselves who we are as a party and what is our mission and what makes us different from the other people in politics in this country. The first thing you must remember that we are a party that have a philosophy. If you don't believe something, if you don't have no vision of who you are, if you don't know where you are, you won't know where to go. We are a people's party, and we have a philosophy that puts people first, That is why we are proud of our origins in the democratic socialist movement in the world. And we are proud of it, we claim it, and we assert it.
They don't know PNP story, they just know a song. They offer PNP father, they story. I'm gonna let PNP know. I'm gonna let me know.
We are a national party. We believe in the Jamaican nation, not part of it, the whole of it. We are not tribalist people. We believe in the upliftment of Jamaica, and we are a democratic party. We believe in democracy. We practice it inside of our party. We originated it in the country. We fought for people to get the right to vote, and we will defend the exercise of democracy in every area of our national life. Hear me? At the heart of our philosophy is a vision of equality, a vision of an egalitarian society, a society without first-class and second-class citizens, a society where there is no first-class and second-class educational system, no first-class and second-class health system, no first-class section of the nation that have good security in gated communities, while the rest away in Bacto and Jarrett Lane and Canterbury have to struggle and fight for life every night. That is not the vision of the People's National Party. And hear me, I want you to get it, so stay with me. One of the big differences between us and them is that we have always believed in participation of the people. We believe in participatory democracy. We don't believe that government must be up so and tell people what to do. We believe that we are here to consult, to mobilize, and to inspire people to be part of the building of this nation. That is why we never have a problem setting up EPOC. That is why we consult with the workers. That is why we set up the energy sector transformation team, because we believe that the entire Jamaica belongs to all Jamaicans, and no Bakra master no set over we in a Jamaica today, but we are all the people operating to build this country, Jamaica, land we love. And it is because we believe in participation. It is because we believe in the power of people to transform their own lives why we make integrity in government central to our concern. People should be able to trust their leaders. People should be able to trust their institutions. And you won't trust them if you believe that they are dishonest or corrupt. What I want to do today is to spell out what we think is at the heart of the mission of the special party which was handed down to us by our founders. Norman Manley, first of all, Michael, PJ, Portia. We all had a mission of building a Jamaica that works for all. And I tell you, when I present the covenant, I'm not covering everything. The covenant that we're presenting is not a manifesto. I'm not going to cover all the things like how we're going to reform the public sector so that it is more responsive. I'm not going to deal with the issues of garbage collection or environment today. I want to deal with the heart of the matter that we have to deal with. And the bottom line is that inequality, this vast gap that exists between the few and the many, is the heart of what is holding us back as a country. Remember what I said. 60% of the labor force, 60% of the people who work earning the minimum wage. And of that minimum wage are close to the minimum wage. Of that, they spend 80% of the money just on food. They can't be the driving force behind a textile industry or a strong construction industry or other elements of a manufacturing sector. They live at low wages. But we can't get out of the low wage trap if we're not educating the majority of our children. Productivity must be low. What is the reality of education today? We have 45 schools, and we call them the traditional high schools, where 3 out of every 4 children get 5 subjects, including maths or English, and getting effectively a world-class education. And you have 118 non-traditional high schools, where not even 2 in 10 getting the same result. Those youngsters in the non-traditional high schools are the people that end up a betting shop door, a roll of spliff a morning time. We see them. Sometimes we see them so often we don't even see them. We get used to it. Life can't go on. So our commitment is to change these structures of inequality by assaulting the structures and the institutions that keep poverty entrenched in this country and inequality scarring our life.
Jamaica no like people will love switch. You can't do that. Oh dear. Being back on the people, you better know that. If you never know, people.
We give our commitment that we will abolish the apartheid system of education in Jamaica. And we make some simple commitments. We will mobilize the whole society to do this. The private sector, the churches, the teachers, the parents, the community-based organizations. We make the commitment that the next PNP government will provide every student in Jamaica with at least 1 meal daily, because people can't learn on a hungry belly.
You can't like people will love switch. You can't do that. Oh dear. Being back on the people, you better know that.
We're going to mobilize communities through the SDC to take responsibility for basic schools and infant schools, because it gives the child a good start then you're setting them up for performance later on in life. We are going to create a center of excellence and have the most massive mobilization of educational expertise, all the retired teachers and administrators, because we're going to go school by school, classroom by classroom, teacher by teacher in the underperforming schools and lift them up until they're all at the same standard. We can't have children leaving from Morant Bay to travel all the way to town every day just because the school next door to them not good enough for the parents to take a chance with. When it comes to university, we will ensure that tertiary education is made more affordable. And we make a commitment, and I want you to hear this one. We are going to establish a first in the family scholarship program. If you are the first child to get into university in your family, a PNP government will pay your tuition and give you expenses because we believe you're going to go back and help raise the quality of life in your family. That is the covenant of the People's National Party. We're going to adjust the Student Loan Bureau to make certain that student loans are capped as a percentage of the salary that you earn. We have to make certain that if you get the loan, we can't have you pay back 80% of what you earn just to service the loan. We have to cap it so you can live and at the same time service it. We're going to establish a graduate repayment opportunity work program, GROW, so that you can pay back part of your loan by agreeing to work in communities and the state, so that you can give service to your community, learn civic responsibility. Land is the next area we're going to tackle. 1/4 of 700,000 living in squatter communities. This problem has been with us almost from the end of slavery, because we never get no compensation. What we have done is we identify 55 bits of legislation that need amendment. We are going to make certain that it is easier for people to get title for the land, because it will make them owners of wealth in this country. It will enable them to go to the bank, improve their own housing conditions, or start a little business. But time come now that we change this thing where a few own most of the country and the majority have no stake at all. We are the generation that's going to change it. Together, we can fix it. Land is also at the heart of the New Deal for agriculture that we are going to put in. And the New Deal for agriculture is part of our effort to build a new economy. We want to unleash small businesses to get people, most of the people who are producing. You know, if you walk around Jamaica, The people that I want to get into the real economy is all them people that will make furniture under mango tree. And the people will fix car on sidewalk. And the woman them will make some uniform and thing in a little lean-to at the back of them house. We want those people to come into the mainstream of the economy. We want them to become respectable small business owners. We want them to become part of the Jamaican economy that is moving on and upwards to progress. So we have found a way where we believe we can mobilize a major flow of credit up to $100 billion or more. And we're going to make training available to these small business people so they don't have to operate on the margin, but come up front and center in our economic life. We are going to give our small farmers 60% of whom don't have a title to the land that they're working now. We're going to ensure that they get their title and they get their training so that they can become real producers and not dependents on welfare. Together, comrades, we can fix it. I want to say something about the Jamaican work, because we can't build this new economy without including a place for the Jamaican work. 30% of Jamaican workers have no pension, and only 20% of them are involved in a trade union. In fact, more and more of them are being denied representation on the fiction that they are contract workers. Not talking about security industry alone, I'm talking about tourism, I'm talking about manufacturing, I'm talking about parts of agriculture. We are going to pass legislation to ensure that the workers who are full-time employees get the benefits that have been won for them by years of trade union activism and collective bargaining.
Let's drink to the hard-working people, and let's drink to the lonely of birth. Raise your glass to the good and the evil. Let's drink.
I want to say something too about the construction industry. Over the past 15, 20 years, construction, which has been a major part of our locally owned industry and economy, has been shrinking. Local companies which built our hotels are being replaced by foreign companies. Local companies which built our roads are being replaced by foreign companies. Companies that built downtown, Bank of Jamaica building and other things no longer have an opportunity to compete. We are going to fix that, comrades. Because the construction industry provided a means for ordinary Jamaican entrepreneurs to step up in life. We believe this industry should have a special place for Jamaicans. We're going to legislate that foreign companies coming in should have a Jamaican partner operating in this industry. We put Jamaica first, and we put Jamaicans first. We believe that the same benefits that foreign companies get to import equipment without customs duties and other things should be made available to Jamaican operators in the sector.
Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there, yeah. Me love Jamaica, me not sell out.
that on any work that is being financed by the government, it is the JIC rates, the rates negotiated between the trade unions and employers that should apply to all work on government's books. You cannot build our economy on the hungry belly of our workers.
Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there, yeah, not nice like Jamaica, for spread fruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade, jumping on the river when we ready for bed.
Nice and blessings upon Starkey.
You hear me? If you see me cut the music short, it's because I have plenty I want to set here before the TV audience leaves. I want them to hear this. Hear me now. Hear me now. There's an important part of our mission I want you to accept. Because if we are honest with ourselves, it's not just there are reasons to do with our own self, our own behaviors, how we operate that helps to keep poverty entrenched in some of our communities. When you see a youth, 7, 8, 9-year-old, out in a halfway 3-yard downtown, 11, 12 o'clock at night, you know, ask yourself, where the parent who bring those youths into the world? What is their responsibility for that? We have to deal with them things that took comrades, because no one else not going to deal with it. It must be our responsibility to build personal responsibility and proper values and proper attitudes and proper behaviors among our people. The transformation of the education system will help bring about a different kind of citizen. But we also believe we have to do more. We are going to be establishing a ministry of social transformation and community development. We're going to be deploying teams of social workers across our communities to deal with the mothers and make them be alive to that responsibility, to deal with the fathers, to make them know them can't go about and trouble the little girls and try to get them into rudeness and other things. We have to build a country based on self-respect and personal responsibility and love of our children and love of ourselves. We're going to develop a program for the unattached youths. We're going to work with the churches, the National Volunteer Services, the entrepreneurs, the retired people. Most of all, these youths want to know that we care for them and give them some guidance. We can't just leave them out there to become criminals and prey on the society and feel unwanted and unloved. I know we can do it. I know that together we can fix it on behalf of Jamaica and its future. In this, our 80th year, history is once again requiring of us in the People's National Party to be the repairers of the breach. So go forth from this arena and spread the word that the PNP is renewed and ready again to be the repairer of the breach. We did it before and we are ready to do it again. Go with confidence to every nook and cranny, every lane, every district in the country, in every workplace and every school. Go forth and tell the people that the People's National Party is ready to work with them. We are ready again, so that together we can build a Jamaica that works for all. Together we will fix it. We can and we will, in this covenant with the people, we will build a Jamaica that works for all the people and not just a few. God bless you. God bless Jamaica, land we love. One love, one heart, comrade.